It's another episode of the NRW Checkpoint. I'm your host, WebsterStyle, the man, the voice, the fragrance, and I'm always joined by my man, Brian Sapph. Brian, how you doing today?
I'm good. How about yourself?
Good, man. I cannot complain. It is a beautiful day finally here, so I can't complain about that. Surprisingly, it is a very lackluster week in gaming. We was like nonstop in February and most of March. It's like boom, 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 heady hitter. This week I look at the list and it's like things that have been out already, except for one game, which is we'll talk about that one when we get to it. So what's going on with you, man?
Nothing much. Just enjoying the video games.
I feel you. Like I said, this week has been pretty lackluster. Let's dive right into it. And first up is 13 Sentinels Aegis Rim, and that's out for the Switch. This is an action game. This was originally released on the PS4 back in 2020. So again, a re-release for a new system. This is going to be a common theme this week. Looked at some trailers. Looks like a pretty fun game, action game. Can't say I'm like, yay, but it doesn't look bad. I think when I was looking at the ratings, it has like an 8.5 rating or something like that, so it rated pretty well as far as the game is concerned.
Okay, 13 Sentinels.
Yes,
interesting. Do we have we do got a trailer for that?
Yes. Okay, yeah, we are popping in the trailer for that. Next up is Don't Starve Together. That's an action game, and that is now out, for the Switch. I didn't put that in the notes, but yeah, that's out for the Switch. It's weird because that was actually released way back in 2016 for the PS4 and Xbox One and the PC. I feel like it was on Game Pass for a while, because when I saw it, I'm like, wait a minute, that's coming out again, but it's just for the Switch. So I think that one rated pretty well. Also, again, above 7. I think that might have been in the 8 range when I was looking at the rating. So again, another game that is just being re-released for the Switch. You know, everybody trying to double dip and get as much money as they can on these properties with these cross-platform conversions. But 6 years later, man, I'm like, man, that's a long time.
You know, I also feel like a lot of people, or a lot of developers, I should say, are like starting to port their games on the Switch because of like the news with the whole it's not necessarily a new Switch, but they're doing something to where the graphics can be like upwards to 4K and stuff.
Right.
So I feel like because they're changing their little dock thing or whatever to incorporate like 4K video and stuff. I think, you know, people are like, okay, now that Switch can handle some of the things we put in the game, let's go ahead and put it over there also.
Right. That'll be interesting. But it looked like a pretty decent game as well. Next up is our only brand new game on the list, and it is Cat Cafe Manager for the Switch and PC. We've gotten a whole lot of very unique simulations in the past couple of weeks, Brian.
I was about to say Cat Cafe. Like,
yes. Is it your dream to own or manage a cat cafe, Brian?
I mean, I can't say I've dreamed to own one, but if it's lucrative, I wouldn't be opposed. You see these dog groomers and things, they are not there. They are ever flourishing out here in the world.
I like that frame of mind, actually. Yeah, if it's lucrative, I will say this, and this is not to knock Cat Cafe, and we'll see it. I think it's one of the trailers we're watching. Yes, you'll see in this trailer, I do not look past these little these indie games or these weird games after playing through Unpacking, which is not related, but Unpacking is probably one of the best games I've played in a long time.
Okay.
After playing through that, like these sort of games, now I'm intrigued because they oftentimes reveal awful lot more than what you would think you would get in playing a game of that nature. So I'm not going to knock Cat Manager. Cat Manager. I'm sorry, Cat Cafe Manager. I am tripping. I'm not going to knock it. It looks like a cool game. Just on the offset, doesn't seem like something I'd be particularly interested in.
We said we got a trailer, right? Yeah.
Yes, we do have a trailer for that.
Okay, because I'm with you. These little one-off games or whatever that have these like quirky backstories and stuff to them,
right?
Whatever.
Exactly.
They tend to have some kind of I don't know, impression on me that I'm like, I might be able to rock with this. There's definitely something different.
There's a charm to them.
Yes, that's it.
There's
Yeah, there's a
definitely a
charm
unique
to them
charm.
that endears me to the game and makes me feel like, you know what, this is actually pretty fun. And it's coming
Right.
out for Switch. I feel
Yes.
like that's the perfect console for this kind of stuff.
Right.
Like,
PC and Switch. Yeah,
yeah.
that's it for the simulations. We've gotten a lot of them lately. Next up is a game we talked about back in February when it's released for the Xbox and PC, and I believe it's still in Game Pass, and that's
Okay.
Nobody Saves the World, and that is now coming out for the PS4, 5, and the Switch, and that's an RPG, and that was from the team that brought us Guacamelee 1 and 2. Heard nothing but good things about this game, so it's kind of a rogue-like action RPG, if I remember correctly. So yeah, it looks fun. I never got a chance to sit down and play it. I actually just downloaded Chinatown Detective Agency, so I'm gonna give that a whirl. We talked about that last week, even though it's not really related to Nobody Saves the World. But there's a lot of games out there to purchase and to download on Game Pass and PlayStation Plus/Now. So it's hard really to get to everything you want to get to.
Definitely. And shout out to like developers and gaming companies or whatever that go the extra mile to, like, promote their product and push their product. I was just on Instagram before we got on. I seen like one of the, I guess, influence or whatever in the blurred space or whatever. Her and her friends or whatever, they got invited out for like a Chinatown, the game you just mentioned.
Okay,
Chinatown
cool.
Agency. They got invited out to do like some kind of what do they call those things, scavenger hunt kind of situation.
Oh, that's so cool.
And promotion for the game. Of course, she had to film it and like post it on social media and stuff, but it was pretty cool, like watching her go around Chinatown. I think that was LA that they were in.
Okay.
And like, what I'm saying, do all this investigative work, and then when she reached the end, there was something that was related to the actual game. Yeah,
that's cool. And that's not even a big publisher either. That's what I forget the developer, because I'm actually covering that on my show for this week. But I forget the developer, but Humble Games is the one that publishes, so they're not like this humongous publisher. For them to do things like that and advertising and promoting their game is just really awesome.
Yeah, Marvel did something like that also recently with the release of Hawkeye.
Okay,
like they had a bunch of blur influencers come out.
Well, they got money.
Huh?
They have money. They ain't the same.
Yeah. But I just thought it was dope because they set them up with they gave them like free archery lessons at like a studio in New York or whatever.
I expect that of Marvel, not of Humble Games though. Like Marvel, too. Disney, just open that wallet and just do what you need to do, man.
Yeah. Promote your stuff, man. That's great.
Yeah, exactly. And the last one on the list is Road 96, and that is coming out for the PS4, 5, Xbox One, S and X, and it's an action adventure game, and originally came out for the Switch and PC in 2021 or 2021. I vaguely remember hearing about this game.
96.
I've heard nothing but good things about it. I didn't watch the trailer for this one. Do we have this one? Yes, we do have the trailer. But I feel like it's like you're driving on this highway. It's kind of Twin Peaks-ish. And I feel like you're delivering the mail. Maybe I'm getting my games confused, but we'll watch the no, that's the mail game is a different game, but it reminds me of
Paperboy.
No. There's some game, and I forget what it's called. You're actually like delivering mail in a small town, and part of it is like you're learning the people and getting to know them. And I'm confusing the two games together because Road 96 is not that game, but for some reason they're meshing in my head. But yeah, Road 96 is coming out for the big boy platforms, I guess now, if you want to call them that, when it came out on the Switch and PC last year. And that's actually all of the new releases for this week, which is, again, really light and really lackluster considering what we have. We may be entering into that period where we have a doldrum, so to speak, up until, well, I would say E3, but there's no E3 this year whenever these summer games announcements come out. Because I believe, I don't remember if Redfall was supposed to come out this summer originally or just going to be fully revealed this summer. But there are supposed to be, not supposed to be, I feel like there are a bunch of heavy hitter games that are going to come out during the course of like around E3 time, because usually you have a big announcements, and Nintendo's good for dropping things, day and date. We already know we're not getting Breath of the Wild 2 this year, which is disappointing. So, and we don't know really how COVID is still affecting studios. So it'd be interesting to see what happens in the next couple of weeks and months, because we're already just about mid-April. June's not that far away for the big announcements from, I guess in this case, the Summer Games Fest, and then the individual studio announcements that have come out now since there's no E3, and that's going to take us all the way from June until August. I feel like THQ Nordic, they announced their presser for like August the 13th or something something to that regard. So we're going to have them all spread out over the summer. So it's going to be very interesting, very exciting. I just hope that they don't drop everything in the fall and winter, because that killed a lot of games last year.
It did, but I don't know. They still, especially the gaming industry, they still heavily rely on, holiday season sales and stuff like that. So while I'm with you, I wouldn't want them to, pile all those games on at one time or whatever. Money, corporation, they're gonna figure something out to get those Christmas sales.
I got you. I will never forget though, because anytime people say that you have to drop a game in the fall or the spring to really sell, I always point to the original KOTOR. The original KOTOR, I feel like it came out in June or July of 2003 because I bought it. And I remember I was in an internship at the NOAA Fisheries Lab in New Jersey, and I played that whole summer while I was in that dorm room in Monmouth College. And so I know like AAA games can come out during the summertime and sell. And the fact that so many companies, and I'm getting off on a rant, I'm sorry, we're going to get to the trailers, but so many companies still use that very limited release window of fall to holiday season, and then right afterwards to the spring to really try to push a lot of games. And there are too many examples, and KOTOR is, like I said, the one that always springs in my mind of games that can drop in the summer and do gangbusters. So
I think what I don't know, development community, I don't know what you call these people, but I don't think they're realizing like the human cycle is a big part of how people game or whatever. So like, yes, you would want to put a game out in the holiday time to like sell or whatever you want, as much sales as you can get off the game or whatever, make it highly anticipated. But to your point, you know what I'm saying? Most people, especially under a certain age, they're home in the summertime, whatever. So to put out a game right before the summertime, give people their first month or two to do all of their multiplayer online games with their friends or whatever, and then when they start get bored of that stuff, it's like you got a whole catalog of RPGs and other type of games you can settle into that's going to hold you until you go back into the school year or whatever your situation is. But summertime is optimal time, man. Everybody's not outside, and then when they come inside, they want to play something.
Now we can go this far. The average age of a gamer is grown with a job, and more than likely a family and kids. This isn't 20 years ago when the average age was prepubescent or puberty without a job, and their parents were buying them or they were renting them from Hollywood Video or Blockbuster. Those that know.
Blockbuster.
So the average gamer has an income where they could buy games all year round. So the fact that the industry as a whole, in my opinion, still hasn't caught up to that fact is really sad. And you're right, it's really the publishers, and I know they're trying to maximize their dollars, but let's be real. Blowing your load between August and December is not a great time for my pocketbook.
It's not.
Or most people's pocketbooks. Like I said, Nintendo Kirby's doing great. Kirby's doing phenomenal. That's in March, but still, that's just still that spring time frame. But Nintendo's probably the one publisher that will release games all year round. Because I feel like Animal Crossing came out in the summer. The last one came out. I know it was during the pandemic, and there's like the game busters. Yeah, but I feel like it came out during the summertime. So Nintendo's never shy about that, because Nintendo knows they peddle crack for their consumers, and their first party titles sell. So a lot of other companies are not as confident in their product like that. They ain't got that wire, that they ain't got that red top or that killer bee. No. So I grew up in Baltimore, so I'm I saw some things growing up.
But no, you're right.
Nintendo has that.
Right. I feel the same way. Like don't just rely on sales holidays in order to get your games out. Like especially Game Pass, PlayStation Plus, or whatever. Like there are plenty of changes that have been made to the consumer side of gaming that will allow for a game to come out pretty much any time of the year and to do well. It just really depends on if your game is good or not.
Right. Side note, before we jump to the trailers, anybody watching this is April 12th, the week of April 12th that we're recording. Xbox has a humongous sale going on right now. Digital stuff. It's bananas. I actually picked up one thing I love about Xbox, backwards compatibility, not behind the paywall, and my Xbox is now like trying to give a command because I said Xbox. But I picked up Golden Axe 1, 2, and 3 from 360 days for like $2.99. Like
okay.
Bananas. Like
that's a good
all of that retro stuff, even newer stuff, a lot of stuff's up to like 60, 70, 80% off. So if you got an Xbox, definitely check it out. I'm pretty sure, I think Nintendo had a sale going on. If not now, they had one or have one coming, and PlayStation probably has something too. So definitely always go on your marketplaces of your various systems to see what's going on, because I go on all the time because there's always stuff on sale. They don't always advertise it like they do now with this game sale. But yeah, it's definitely, if you're trying to find some cheap games, now is the time to do it.
Definitely. And that's another thing, to your point. We're coming up into summertime. All of these games going on sale and stuff like that.
Right. A lot of stuff from Christmas that dropped is going on sale.
Already.
Yep.
It didn't have to be this way, guys. You could have came out in the springtime and then give people a little 10% discount in the holiday season or whatever, and just be like, well, the game is still new, so no, we're not discounted to half off.
Exactly.
But I'm not on the marketing team or sales teams for any of these companies, so you guys continue to do what you got to do.
Exactly. So let's jump into the trailers. First up, we have 13 Sentinels at GS Rim. Yeah, partial nudity, that means PG-13. So hard R's here. Up is Atlas. Looks cool.
Sentinels.
地球がどうなっているか知りたい。
お前はセクター3の
最初に封じた魔法使いはあの男だった。
40年後の未来に俺は転移したのか。
世界を滅ぼす最悪の元凶だ。世界を滅ぼす
This art style
核爆弾を使ったの。
reminds me of
怪獣をぶっ飛ばせるかもしれねえ。ゲームオーバー
there
で
were
も
a bunch of phone fighting games
毒の機構が用
kind
意
of
し
had
た
this sort
別
of
のユニッ
art
ト
style,
だ。
especially the way they kind of
つけすぎよ。
loaded
In
in that 2D paneling sort of thing. It looked like what is it?
地球を侵略
Like
に来た宇宙
paper
人の兵
puppets.
器。
Like paper stick
別のもの
puppets.
よ。
今の僕はあなたが作った。それでも僕は君を守りたいんだ。13番機起動。
Okay, we're 713.
Fighting? No.
Come on, now. Y'all didn't show us any fighting.
Right.
We only live for the bloodshed and the conflict and violence. Come on now.
I mean, they got these big ass mechs running around. I want to see some shooting, some fighting.
Exactly.
But I guess this is an announcement trailer. This is not the.
Yeah,
the
that
real
was for
game.
the Switch. So, that came out last year. Now it's coming out for the other systems.
Okay.
So it's not
I'll
anything
find
different.
some gameplay on the
Right.
on the internet.
Next up, we have our only new release this week, or official new release, brand new release, not a re-release for another system. That's Café Manager. Let's go. Make some money.
They got persons for the cat. Build your own cat cafe.
If anybody's hearing this is not, I don't mean this to be sexist, but this seems like such a game for like little girls or teenage girls or preteen girls.
Is that a raccoon? It does. It does have an immature mount.
Yeah, I see. It's
kid vibe.
Definitely.
I feel like.
Not saying you can't play this if you're above, the age of 18. It's just get those. This has a different appeal to it. And it's coming out for the Switch, so.
Yeah, this would be the perfect game for them to stick in like little puzzles and stuff where people can like learn things. Like, 5 plus, 5 cats is 10. Like education.
I was about to say I want a coffee shop game, but I think there is one.
Uh-huh.
I know I have some game on Xbox for Coffee Talk that they gave away for free. I think that's a simulator or something like that. I gotta try that out. Maybe I'll talk about that this week instead. Anyway, so that was Café Manager. Like I said, it has a very unique feel and a charm to it. I think it's just I'm too old for the game.
It's definitely an E for everyone.
Yes, definitely E for everyone. And I definitely see our female demographic, especially young ones, probably being attracted to that game more so than others.
You know what? This is for cat lovers around the world.
That too. Cat lovers.
Yeah, they're pandering, but
yes,
it might work out.
Nothing wrong with pandering. Especially if it gets you money.
Right. It's also a cafe game now. Yeah, this is for a certain demographic. We talking coffee and cats. Like, I know exactly who you're targeting.
Right, exactly. So let's move on to probably our quirkiest game of the week, and that's going to be Road 96. And this is now coming out for the other systems, Xbox, PlayStation. Came out for the Switch last year.
Road 96.
Hey, it's me, Alex. I'm okay.
Uh-oh.
I met this girl, this boy, loser, at the diner, at the gas station, in the mountains.
Yeah, I think it's like a Groundhog Day
They were hitchhiking,
aspect to this.
driving. They were escaping to the border.
Okay.
Looking for someone called Zoe, John, Jared, Sonia. And running from the police, running from some bad guys. They helped me.
Okay.
Played games with me. They stole
Things
my
got
money.
different.
And they made me realize that I have to come back home. I have to make my own way to help the brigades. Where am I? Road 13, Road 42, Road 67, Road 96.
Okay. That's interesting.
Yeah, that really does seem interesting. I'm definitely interested in playing that one.
I love how they flipped it.
Yeah.
These like differing storylines or whatever, but they like parallel to one another. That's interesting.
Right. Yeah, I'm definitely might check that one out. I wonder how much that one costs.
Like,
one of the great things about all these games that were released, they're all like $49.99 and below, if I remember correctly. So none of these games are like $60, $70 games. They're all very modestly priced. Really indie titles for the most part, except for 13 Sentinels. That's the only Atlas major publisher. Everything else that that was released are indie titles. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah. I'm gonna look in the PlayStation store and see how much that was going for. Because I don't know. Something about that. I'm like, I want to know what the story is talking about.
Right. Yeah, it's very interesting. It looks like it definitely can suck you in.
Mm-hmm.
So, well, that's our last game for this week. It's been pretty quiet this week. Hopefully next week will give us a bit more, if not in the way of quality, if not quantity, so we can really sink our teeth into some gaming. But Brian, what do you have coming up this week?
Talk+Play blerdcast, wherever you can listen to podcasts. I think I'm covering some gaming stuff. So, we've had some interesting announcements in the gaming world that I'm excited about. So I'm covering some games on this thing right here. And then, that's it.
Okay. All right,
Checkpoint with you here.
Yep, every week right here on Nerds Rule the World. But I am WebsterStyle. You can find me every week at or on the Sartorial Geek Podcast by WebsterStyle. Currently, episode 104 is out. Talking normal stuff at the moment. Halo, Moon Knight, doubling up on Picard season 2 with episodes 5 and 6, as well as talking about the beautiful, glorious new trailer for Star Trek Strange New Worlds. I am so excited about that show. Man, I am so excited about Strange New Worlds. I am like it looks like classic Trek. I'm not a big about Discovery, but streams will look great. So yeah, I'll gush about that, and then the normal stuff, and then episode 5 will probably be out by Sunday, and we'll look at different stuff. Chinatown Detective Agency, I'm gonna play that and give my impressions, as well as again Picard, Halo, more announcements, fragrance of the week, and also a little bit of style rolled in there, all of that.
Over on the Satoria Geek podcast.
Yes. And of course, you are not on Satoria Geek, not on the Talk+Play blerdcast, but you are with the nerds rule the world. And of course, follow us on Twitter at the NRW. Follow us on Instagram at New Release Wednesday. And of course, you're on YouTube, so you know what to do. Like, share, and subscribe. And also click that bell for notifications. We appreciate it.
I think you need that bell because stuff be happening all the time.
Right
on the channel.
Right. Ding ding.
Press the bell.